Picture a cold winter night, a lonely mountain road, and a young girl whose fate is shrouded in darkness. Young Maura Murray disappeared in the New Hampshire snow in 2004 after a car accident, becoming an elusive shadow that left only a chaos of questions. What made her disappear? Who, or what, was stalking her? The unknown is both frightening and alluring, like a lingering nightmare. Let's delve into her mysterious story to understand what's hidden in the trail of trails that leads to the abyss. Maura seemed like a typical Massachusetts nursing student with a passion for running, academic ambitions, and a romantic relationship. But as often happens, the facade was hiding a storm. In the days before she disappeared, her behavior had become bizarre. She lied at work, saying she was leaving because of family problems, and at home she looked at online maps of mountain trails. Shortly before her trip, she withdrew most of the money from her account, bought alcohol, and got into her car. Her family and friends didn't know about her plans, but her route was like a puzzle laid out. A map found in her car held clues that no one could solve. On the evening of February 9th, her car crashed into a tree on Route 112. A passing school bus driver offered to help, but Maura refused, saying she had already called a tow truck. It was a lie. No calls were made. The driver left her alone. 10 minutes later, the police arrived, but Maura was gone. The car was left with her belongings inside, and her tracks in the snow stopped after a few meters. No pursuit, no struggle, no tracks. A crushing sense of emptiness enveloped the scene. During the night, the temperature dropped below freezing, not lethal, but dangerous without clothing and shelter. Police searched the forest with dogs, thermal imagers, and helicopters, but Maura was never found. There was one puzzling fact. Her phone, left in the car, picked up a call from her boyfriend a few hours after the accident. Maybe someone turned it on, or had she been hiding all this time? Maura's life didn't seem too problematic at first glance, but looking closer, dramatic elements emerged: petty theft, the threat of trial, a shaky relationship with her boyfriend Bill, crying calls without explanation. Her father suspected she was on the verge of an emotional breakdown, but no one would have thought she would leave like that. Or was she forced? The only trace of her intentions is the map she found, the route to the mountains and the purchase of alcohol, possibly planning to hide. But what got in the way later? The area's dark past added a mystique to the disappearance. Others had disappeared in the area before. Residents recalled unfamiliar cars that night. But could Maura have left with someone who tricked her into taking her away forever? Time passed, and no body was found. The freezing theory lost its force. Despite all efforts, there was no trace. But the talk gave rise to speculation. Sex, dangerous people, or criminals were suggested. The idea that the girl could have faked her disappearance increases the intrigue. Why did Maura lie before her trip? Why did she choose such a risky route? What invisible force dragged her along? The car, standing coolly on the road the next morning with empty alcohol, seemed to lie to her face. More than 20 years have passed, and Maura's case remains open. In 2019, an old jacket was found in the woods, but it did not belong to her. The internet is full of theories. Some believe that she is alive and hiding. Some believe that she was kidnapped. Some believe that she died that night. Her family still holds out hope, but the chances of finding the truth are dwindling. This story is captivating in its simplicity and uncertainty. An ordinary girl, an ordinary accident, and suddenly emptiness. Every time you retell it, you find new questions. A phone call, trails that break off, a map in the car. Something was driving Maura away from her life, but what? Maybe she wanted to disappear, or maybe someone did it for her. We can only guess, looking at that dark road where her tracks disappeared into the snow. Maura vanished into the snowy night, leaving a trail of unanswered questions. Will we ever uncover her story's end? Join Mystery Pulse to find out. Subscribe now and hit the bell so you don't miss the next intriguing tale.